Hey guys, my name is Erica, and today I'm going to be telling you the first few books that I've read so far for the Bookemon Readathon. Bookemon Readathon is the readathon I'm participating in that takes place for the entire month of May. I've already had a bit of a summary video for that. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do my wrap up at the end of the month and just wrap up all the books at the same time. I just felt like that'd be kind of a lot. Well, at the rate I'm reading, probably not that many, but I did want to make sure I remembered all the books and gave like a, strong enough summary for each one and my thoughts on those. So that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys today. So let's just get right into it. I almost forgot I have Charmander here again with me today to help us with our first wrap up. I actually only ended up reading 3 books so far for the Bookemon Readathon during week 1. The first book that I finished was actually a graphic novel called Blue is the Warmest Color. I know this is a movie, it's been out for quite a long time. I never really knew what it was about. Then I saw that it was a graphic novel and I was like, okay, let me just get in on this. It is LGBTQ, so that is really a lovely thing, and I actually really enjoyed this graphic novel. I did end up giving it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. So this book starts out where we find out that a woman has passed away. Her girlfriend, her lover, Emma, is now staying with the family. So Emma feels a little awkward right now with the parents because she knows that their parents had like mixed relationships about Emma's relationship with their daughter, Clementine. Clementine has just passed away and now Emma's left by herself. Clementine has left Emma her journals and wants her to read through them because she knows it'll make her feel better and just wants to tell the story about how they met and just Clementine's feelings about everything in general. This book follows Clementine, who is struggling to confront her feelings for girls, and she isn't really sure what her sexuality is, and she's just really having a hard time kind of with that. She's having a hard time growing into herself and really understanding who she is and her sexual preferences. This goes through her diaries that she's written over the years, and it starts out when she's pretty young and she's been dating boys and just doesn't really like have feelings for them. They're having these dreams about a girl with blue hair. She starts having these really vivid dreams about this girl. She's not really sure what these feelings mean, and then one day as she's growing up, she's still, struggling to find herself. She ends up meeting this girl, I think at a party or like at a bar, and it's the girl with the blue hair. Her name is Emma. They end up having a really good conversation and she gives her her number and they call each other, but Emma does have a girlfriend and Clementine is just really afraid of her feelings, but she does have a gay best friend, so he's been kind of trying to help her out. People at school aren't really understanding of that, of course. People like to bully, people don't really get it. One day Emma goes and finds Clementine at her school and Clementine is like really embarrassed because she just doesn't want people knowing that she's a lesbian, but she's also just not really sure what she is and who she loves. And Emma still has a girlfriend, so they kind of grow distant at some times, but then they end up falling in love. It's just really lovely. Over the years, her and Emma stayed together, but then Clementine really starts to struggle with mental illness. And I really enjoyed this graphic novel. It was obviously very heartbreaking, very sad, and very dark at times, but it was also just really lovely and really romantic and sweet. I felt like the story was very truthful and you can really understand the challenges that they were facing. Overall, I really enjoyed it. The writing in general and the artwork was really well done. And yeah, I wish I had the physical copy here. I may purchase a copy eventually because it wasn't the same. I had to read it on my phone because I downloaded it for my Kindle, but it didn't really work for there, so kind of weird. But overall, I really enjoyed that book. I ended up using it to fulfill several challenges. I can't remember which ones exactly I filled it out for my challenges on that sheet, but yeah, it got me a pretty good amount of CP. The next book that I finished is one of my favorites of all time now, and that is The Prairie of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm not sure how much I can explain about this book because it's just, there's so much going on, but this follows several different characters. There are multiple point of views, but the main one that you follow is Ede, who is working I don't even know how to explain it. So the character of Ede, who is currently working kind of undercover with the queen, she is from this place called the Prairie of the Orange Tree. So it's like a bunch of sisters who are actually mages and they can control fire and different types of magic. They eat fruit off the tree and then it helps their magic grow and they can do a lot of really cool things. Like I said, it's hard for me to explain everything in this book. So Ede is currently, I'm going to put this down, it's really big. So Ede is currently working for the queen as one of her bedchamber women or chamber women, that kind of, she's working for her. But slowly as Sovereign starts to trust her, she gets made bedchamber, like lady of the bedchamber. This book has a lot of focus on religion and different types of faith that these people believe. There are dragons in this book, but they call them like wyverns or like worms. The evil dragons are controlled by the Nameless One, who everyone is against in their faith. That's just not something that they believe in. And the other character in this book is named Tanae. She has worked all her life to become a dragon rider, and they are dragons of the sea. They're not as evil as the other dragons that have fire. So Ede actually has a different faith because she's with the Priory, but she's kind of working right now undercover for the Queen because she wants to protect her. Queen Sovereign is the ninth of her house. She does not want to get married. She's having a really hard time like facing the fact she has to marry. Finally, she does get married because she needs to have a child because they need the next heir, who's always a girl. Oh, okay, I'm giving a horrible explanation. In this book, Eve discovers that the Nameless One is going to be returning, and it's been like over 1,000 years since the Nameless One has come back, and now they are returning again. And basically that means that they're going to take over the kingdom and kill Queen Sovereign and just start ruling. Basically, these dragons come back and they've been gone for all these years. All these characters end up having to work together to defeat the Nameless One. That is the best I can do because there's so much in this book. It is so good. This is an adult high fantasy, and you guys, I think it is probably one of the best books I've ever read, and it's written so incredibly well. So Samantha Shannon is like my new favorite author. Not my new favorite, like I just really loved this book, and I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. There are some moments when it feels kind of slow and a little overwhelming. There's just a lot happening and there's a lot of information you have to retain and a lot of different characters. The religious aspect in this book does get a little overwhelming to me, but it all ends up working. Like, you kind of start to put all the pieces together and figure it out. What I loved most about this book though was the romance. I have a really hard time reading YA nowadays because of the romance, but adult novels are so much better, and this is actually a female-female romance, and it was written incredibly well. It's just so good, you guys. Like, it was very subtle at the beginning, very cute, very romantic, just little simple things that you start to notice and pay attention to, and it just made me so happy. I'm not going to spoil who it is, I'm not going to spoil the characters or anything, but it is so good. It wasn't annoying to me. It was really beautiful. I can't even like express how lovely it was to read. I actually had to stop reading for a minute and just close the book and look at the ceiling because I was just so overwhelmed by how well written this book was. It's not all like fluffy and purple, whatever they use for those terms, where it's like it's just overwhelming with descriptions and those types of things. It was just truthful. Like, it was really honest and it felt real to me. Like, it gave me butterflies reading it. Like, I love that feeling, and most of the time I'm just rolling my eyes at romantic scenes in YA and other novels, but this was so good, and I can't express how much I love this book. The fantasy, the world building, everything about it just felt so visceral to me and tangible and just very strong, and I loved the concept of it. It wasn't your basic like dragon story. It was really dark and good. Like, I love this. It's a standalone, it's adult, it's fantasy. It was just so amazing. They did so much in these pages, and I just love the writing, and I love the characters. I love the names of the characters: Sovereign, Eve, Tanae. Like, it was all very unique. At times, I do have to say, it was hard for me to visualize certain things. I did have a hard time putting everything together, like in a scene in my head for some reason, which I don't usually struggle with. I did have a hard time visualizing some of the characters, which I hate because I need to have a face on them. But overall, I love this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Highly recommend if you're looking for a good adult fantasy or female-female relationships. Loved it. Like, the best. Alright, the next book that I finished for the week was Ask the Passengers. This book I did borrow from my Kindle as well. This book was another LGBTQ book with a female-female romance. This is a coming-of-age story about a girl named Astrid Jones who is facing the fact that she likes girls. She's having a hard time because she doesn't like labels, and she goes to a really small high school where everyone knows each other, everyone's gossiping, and rumors start really quickly, and people are really terrible to each other. There's a lot of bullying, and there's obviously very conservative people in a small town. Astrid is having a very difficult time confronting her feelings and really admitting who she is and being comfortable with who she is. She doesn't come from a very loving family. Her dad kind of does his own thing. He's like high pretty much all the time. Her mom is absolutely horrible. She doesn't care about Astrid. She only wants Astrid to have a boyfriend just so she can fit in with the other girls at school and have friends and be popular, because basically Astrid's mom, she's not really there for them in a personal way. She doesn't really want to have anything to do with Astrid and what Astrid's goals are. Basically, it's just like Astrid doesn't exist to her at most times because she's more disappointed in her, which is like really sad. Like, Astrid is really smart, really creative. She does really well in school, and her mom just doesn't really care. Her mom just wants her to fit in with the rest of the people. Her sister, on the other hand, is pretty popular, has a good relationship with her mom. Astrid is hiding the fact that she's currently kind of dating a girl that she works with. She only gets to see her on the weekend. They try to utilize their time wisely while they're at work, you know, making out in the freezer, things like that. But Astrid hates that Dee, the girl she's seen, is really pushy about getting more from her and not really having any boundaries and just kind of using Astrid. But Astrid really wants to call her girlfriend and really wants to be with her and show other people that. But it's really hard when she goes to a school where everyone bullies each other and makes fun of people for being gay. So basically this follows her journey as she comes face to face with the reality that she may not like boys, but she doesn't really like putting a label on herself. But she has to end up telling her family and her friends that she's gay. I really did enjoy this story. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads just because it wasn't like that great to me, but I did really appreciate it. I think it's just because it's like below where I'm at in my life. I mean, it focuses on high school, and the drama was just a little too much for me, the pettiness. The bullying was just kind of annoying, and just like the way the high schoolers were acting, because like it's typical high school people. And I did really like Astrid's character. I liked her voice. Sometimes I felt like she could be a little annoying in the way she spoke and the way she acted. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, some of the stuff that she did kind of threw me off, in the way she was acting at certain times was surprising to me, which I feel like is good and bad. I mean, it was just kind of, at times it just felt a little taken out of the story or a little bored. But overall, I did really enjoy it. I think it's a great coming-of-age story. And it does teach you how important it is to find yourself and to be confident with who you are. But you do always have to be careful, because not everyone is going to accept the person you are. And that reality is, of course, really hard, really difficult, and not easy to face. You know, overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'm just kind of rambling right now about it. But yeah, overall, I did like it. It was good. It was a decent book. The book that I'm currently reading for this week is Star Touched Queen. I'm actually almost done, so I plan on finishing that today, hopefully. Right now, I'm not really, I feel bad. I really wanted to like this book, but I'm not really that interested in it. I only have 100 pages left, and I honestly just don't care about the story. And yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. So those are all the books that I've currently read for the Bookemon Readathon. That's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it a nice little thumbs up. If you want to keep following me on this booktube journey, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at EricaAGobble. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!